So now that we have learned about Benjamin Franklin, let's practice writing sentences. So I'm going to show you a picture and you will write 3 sentences about the picture. Remember Unit 7, Health, because the picture is set in a hospital or a waiting room of a hospital. So I will give you a couple seconds to look at the picture. You will notice that it is a waiting room. There are people who are sick, and their names are on them at somewhere. There's no name for her, but you see this is Eric, Rose, Ken, Tina, and Tom. So go ahead and write 3 sentences about this picture. You may pause the video if you need more time. So let's see what we have. So let's say we want to talk about Tom. Tom is holding onto his stomach. So it looks like Tom has a stomach ache. Remember that we learned about that in Unit 7. Stomach ache. It looks like it's a ch sound because it's a C and an H, but it's actually a k sound. So stomach ache. Tom has a stomach ache. If you did not know his name, you could also have written, he has a stomach ache. I also noticed that we don't need this E. So that is the correct spelling of stomach ache. It's STOMACHACHE. A stomach ache. Tom has a stomach ache. Or if you didn't know his name, you could put he has a stomach ache. Let's look at Tina. Tina is holding onto her head. So Tina has a headache. Tina has a headache. And if you didn't know her name, you could write she has a headache. So Tom has a stomach ache. Tina has a headache. Tom has a stomach ache. Tina has a headache. Look at Ken. Ken has a tissue and it looks like he is blowing his nose. So it looks like Ken has a cold. Ken has a cold. Don't forget about the letter A there. We went over this as well. We talked about articles. This is a consonant, so you say a cold. Ken has a cold. If you didn't know his name, he has a cold. So we actually made 6 sentences. You could talk about Rose. It looks like Rose has a sick child. You have Eric. Eric has back pain. Eric has back pain. If you remember in Unit 7, it talked about chest pains, but this one is a back pain. Let me write that sentence. Eric has back pain. Eric has back pain. Ken has a cold. Tina has a headache. Tom has a stomach ache. And if you want to write about all of them, you could say they are in the waiting room. They are in the waiting room. So if you ask, where are they? They, because there's multiple people, many people, they are in the waiting room. They are in the waiting room. So that's a pretty good amount of sentences. Let's look at another picture. Here, there's no names, but you know about these jobs. We talked about what they are. Can you remember what they're called? Nurses. She is a nurse. She is a nurse. I'm assuming they're both nurses. He is a doctor. She is a patient. So let's actually do those sentences. So this is picture 2. So we can put he is a doctor. He is a doctor. She is a patient. She is a patient. Let's assume they are nurses. They are nurses. And don't forget about the S. You need to have the S because it's plural. He is a doctor. She is a patient. They are nurses. He is a doctor. She is a patient. They are nurses.